Hello. Breathe with me, will you? Breathe into your back body as we acknowledge our time in this virtual space that I've entitled Soulfully You. It's a way and a place where we can breathe into the depths of who we are, feeling, moving, illuminating, and feeling, breathing, illuminating, and really solidifying the nature of who we are, our brilliance, each and every one of you holds a brilliance. It's sacred, it's beautiful, it's resilient. And we're in a wild time where we are invited to ground into that brilliance, to really reveal it and revel in it and respect it. So this is Teresa Phelps Martin, and we will be doing a full moon yoga soul flow where we connect into our physical nature, that physicality that wants to produce, to create, to be remembered, to be seen, to climb the highest peaks, and most often be called to avoid the deep valleys. So here's the deal. The deep valleys are our private affairs. The deep valleys are the essence of our nature, the compassion, the basement of our truth. So it can hide. We have to hold space for it, okay? We have to nourish it and value it and prioritize it. So what we will see is in our practice today, a surrendering to really revel in all that's there for us. Now we want to have the boundaries of it being enough, that we don't have to, as one of my meditation teachers would say, it's not about putting another notch in our belt. It's not about creating another focus and determination to demonstrate to the rest of the world that we've accomplished something, but rather so that we can be more present with our soul, that cosmic expression that's chosen to embody and stand in our brilliance fully. So anyhow, whether you're watching this live or the replay, this practice, yes, has to do with the lunar cycle of all that is being revealed, all that is being illuminated. And where I draw inspiration from is the axis of the 4th house and 10th house in the zodiacal wheel, which that's all technology and terminology that you don't need to be burdened by, although I feel like it's important for you to know where it's coming from. So it's not just this moment in time. It is an aspect of the whole, so you can practice anytime you need that physical connection to feel the container of you that's holding this energy of evolution within you. So if you're watching this on the replay, you can hold space for anything that you need to be present to, that needs to be nourished, okay? And allow the focus to be inward so you can ground into what's there and rise up. So we will tap into the psoas today. We will tap into the inner lines of the body. And I just happened to signing on one of my teachers, Shiva Ray. There was a picture of her. She's always pushing the pilgrimage, if you will, pushing the resonance. And it was her jumping off of a cliff, probably in Greece, probably somewhere beautiful. She's a world traveler. She's everywhere. She's global. She invoked these seeds in me of these inner lines. And so she's diving into the deep waters, right? Beautiful, brilliant waters. And so we're all diving into the deep waters of our lives. And so let's go for it. So we're going to feel that inner line, sole of the foot, upper palate of the mouth, but palms of the hands through the arms too. So these core lines that the energy can move. So what is being revealed to us doesn't stay stuck, and we don't focus and pinpoint on our inabilities, but we give ourselves the room to become more able in our brilliance. So we are going to start in child's pose. As you unroll your mats, if you haven't already, know that you're unrolling into this physical space. And as you move into child's pose, if the knees inhibit that, you can start lying on your belly, which is profound too. But what I want us to do is be in a position, okay, where you can go inward. But as you go inward, you don't go inward with the shame and the victim and the need to fix or, be positive and happy and cheery, but rather be in the truth. Be in the body that is home to your soul, that is the container that houses this energy that wants to rise up and pave a path for future generations. So start with yourself. Start with your highest, that oneness of all things, that our time here is for the highest good. And we're going to continue on with the cycle of 8. And as we continue on with this cycle of 8 breaths, you will see it unfold in many ways. But for now, I'm going to be silent for those 8 breaths. Breathe into the back body. Breathe into the parts of you that have carried you forward into this moment. Call on the water. What needs to be hydrated? What needs to be revealed? You're going to inhale. Sorry for that disruption. Inhale up onto your hands. Come up onto your fingertips. I want you to feel this container, right? The edges of the rivers of you. Arms lift, soften the heart. Draw into the belly. Then we're going to walk over to the left edge of the mat. Keep drawing into that midline. And then move your hips over to the right. Reconnect to those 8 breaths. And as you're connecting to those 8 breaths, you want to connect to this kind of zigzaggy energy It's not a straight line. If you've ever hiked a steep incline, you go back and forth, right? They're called switchbacks. You zigzag. Inhale, come up through the center. And that zigzag energy sometimes puts you into the edges of places of discomfort. Draw into the belly, walk your hands over through the midline to the right. Arm bones are lifted, the muscles are engaged. You're holding the flesh and body of your soul. Draw into the belly, and then you're going to lean your hips over to the other side, the left. And as you're breathing, feel in. Don't try to fix and micromanage and perform, but rather breathe, be. You're holding space. You're being present to what is there, to what is being nourished and nurtured. And then inhale, come all the way back through the center. Rise up onto your hands and knees and come all the way down to the belly. Once you're on the belly, you're going to bend the knees and circle the ankles. Wiggle the toes out. Roll the feet to the left. Now, as you're rolling to the left, I want you to stay lifted in the belly, shoulders to the back. Relax the center of the forehead to the ground. And 8 deep breaths here, connecting from the sole of your right foot through the right inner thigh. Push the knee towards the ground. Use that inner thigh to draw it in. Awaken the psoas so the core is lifted. The shoulders drawn to the back, and you find length all the way through the right side of the throat. Anytime you hear me pause in my words, it's permission to breathe, okay? Inhale through the center of the forehead to the ground, and the hands are grounded so the shoulders are to the back. The belly's lifting. Your feet are going to roll over to the right. You're going to keep pushing that left knee down, so from the sole of the left foot up through the inseams of the body, all the way up through that space between your left hip point, your left rib cage, the left side of the heart and the lungs, the left side of the throat, your left eyeball, your left ear. Breathing. And listening for that wisdom that's buried deep inside. We usually go looking outwardly. We're being asked to look inwardly. Inhale all the way back to the center. Feet are going to point back. Hands go wide. Elbows rise up. You're going to lift the right leg up, hug it to the midline, and then re-anchor it. Lift the left leg up, hug it to the midline, re-anchor it. Elbows lift up, shoulders drawn to the back. You're going to inhale, curl up, stay lifted in the belly, and then exhale, float back down. We're just going to go 8 times here. Feeling the current of your breath. We don't want to be delusional here, but we do want to connect to the creative energy that is potent right now, that is magical, honestly. It's mystical in its magic, right? So it's still a little mysterious, but we can breathe into it. I have no idea how many that is, so we just pause and know that 8 is the number. But the number is arbitrary, right? It just gives us a container. Come all the way back to the center. Hands under your shoulders. You're going to rise up onto your hands and knees. Kick the left foot back. Widen the right foot. Now here we onto your left fingertips because your spine is longer than your limbs. Go for it. But you're going to bend your knee and draw into the belly. And as you're bending your knee, push the right hand to the ground. Draw the right arm up. Pull into the rib cage. Pull into the belly. Your inner thighs are going to go back. But your left foot is heavy. So your inner thighs are going back, but you're pulling into the core. And come up onto your left fingertips if you haven't already. And as you ground in and you get into that depth and you feel that strength and that magnificence, then you're going to inhale, expand, and stretch. So we're going to do that 8 times. Exhale, touch the left hand down, draw into the belly, ground in, inhale, feel the expansion. So those first 2, I'm starting to understand. The next one, we feel a little challenge of doubt, or am I doing it right? So instead of the doubt, stay the course. Exhale, fall down. Inhale, feel how, that feels good through that whole sideline. Connect to your intention, the palm of the hand, the sole of the foot. Exhaling. Touch back into the earth. Touch back into the energy of you and feel that full, that total illumination. And then as you exhale, surrender to staying too attached to it. Continue to feel how you're going to stay in not so much the focus and the determination, but the presence of caring for yourself, of seeing it all the way through, right? Really feeling the deeper nature. Last one. Exhaling all the way down. And then you're going to inhale, come all the way up. Feel the opening. You're going to lift the foot, bend the knee, hold on to the foot, either be in the thigh stretch or kick the foot back, shoulders to the back, open up wherever you are, however you want to be. 8 breaths. Permission to breathe and be. To reveal your brilliance. Exhale, you're going to free the foot. You're going to bend both knees like you're going all the way back, but you're going to come seated to your right hip. Your left knee comes down. So I know my back is to you. You're in what I call a cheerleader pose or a tea party pose. You're going to be the hostess with the mostest for yourself. Although we love to dress up and offer out, we're here to go inward. You're going to internally rotate that left leg, find length. And now we're going to massage that whole right side body that we were stepping into. We're going to feel that energy, elbows to the earth, soften the heart. 8 breaths here. Breathe into this back line. The back body. Breathe into all those places you've been before. And notice that this is also an invitation to let go of how much your past or your patterns and your habits have inhibited you from rising into that brilliance that you are. Easier said than done, but just planting seeds, okay? Notice where you're cutting the line off. Keep the sides of the neck and throat long, tails anchored. exhale out completely. Ground into the earth. Draw into your core. Connect to where you are. You're going to walk your hands out, so that gecko moment. Hands go wide, elbows lift. You're going to inhale, curl all the way up onto your hands and knees. Move back into a tucked toe child's pose, right? So it's a active, ready to rumble, ready to rock, ready to roar sort of moment. Feel the duality, okay? The polarity, if you will, of the right side and the left side. After all of that, there's not a good or bad, better or worse. It's just the invitation to be present. Inhale, rise all the way up, and exhale into the earth. Your hands are going to go wide, feet point back. Okay, so hands are wide, elbows lift. Inhale your left leg up. You're going to hug the leg to the midline, and then in that internal rotation, drawing in, plugging in, connecting into the house of you. Your home and hearth is your body, by the way. It's not just the place in which you're living. I mean, it is the place you're living, right? You live in your body. Inhale, the right leg lift. Hug it, draw in, internally rotate the leg, plug into you, to that sacred flame of you that we're in service of. Stretch the tailbone back. Inhale 8 times. Curl up. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, curl up. And as you're breathing, I do have to continue to honor hurried. She planted the seed of living with the lunar tides. Gosh, it was 2003, a long time ago. And I've also journeyed a long way from there. So I can bring forward the parts and pieces that have served and guided me, and also release the attachment to any ways that I was hurt or confused or betrayed. Because come on, we all have all of those in our past. Exhale, melt down, hands under the shoulders. You're going to rise up onto your hands and knees. Right foot stretches out. Reposition yourself. So adjust the foundation, right? Have you ever put on an outfit and you were like, oh, no way. You might be less particular than me. And so you just change, right? You don't have to go shopping and buy a whole new wardrobe. You just get into what supports you. That's the whole idea with your foundation. Honor it, nourish it, be present to it, focus on it. And then you're going to find the right hand down. You're going to bend the knees, draw in. And this is a total, I feel like, would be very encouraged by both of my teachers, Shiva Ray and Sienna Sherman, in the land of yoga and asana and the esoteric wisdom. So grounding in, pushing into the earth, inhaling, right, 8 times, stretching long. So exhale, come all the way back. Inhale, expanding. Okay, so honor the wisdom, honor the teacher, honor that which holds both the dark and the light. That's what we have when there's a full moon. Inhale, lengthening. Exhaling, being in that rhythm. Being with your breath. Being in that dance of resilience. And in that resilience, we recognize how much perseverance is required to overcome the pain of our past. But it also requires a determination to respect the journey that has guided us to this moment. Inhale, so here's number 8, I think. You're gonna lift the leg, bend the knee, find the foot. So again, you can be in a more of a thigh stretch energy, or you can kick the foot back, hold the energy of you, and as you hold space, we're really connecting into this back body, into those lines from the soles of our feet up into the depth of our heart and soul.
Just in case you forgot, 8 breaths. Every time I'm silent, it's permission to breathe and be, to believe in the dreams, to reclaim your worth and your vitality. As you exhale, you're going to free the foot. Okay, your knees are going to come down. I gotta find room. And you sit back on the left hip. Okay, you're in this position. Draw in, and who cares if you did the first side differently? Okay, you're going to find. Sorry, tangent. I would love to design a yoga line for those of us who have had children, okay? There's nothing wrong if you haven't had children and if you have a waist and it's not that. It has nothing to do about this. It's just, I don't know. It's something about feeling more of a connection that holds the energy in which we volunteered our home to be a home and a womb and a cavern for another life to come forward. So this includes anybody who tried the journey of motherhood, but it did not produce the tangible effects that our world says makes you a mother. Okay, so back to this energy. Your right thigh turns in. Feel the length. We get stuck here, right? If you've been around me at all, I talk about how disconnected we are. So we want to feel the connection to our inner world, recognizing this is where we can reveal our brilliance. Find length, twist, and then you're going to lean forward. We're massaging. You have your left knee in the sternum, folds over it, elbows to the ground, and bow. We all come into the world with a mom. We also each and every one of us, have to relearn, which is what we're doing, how to mother ourselves. This has nothing to do with your biological mom. This has everything to do with the divine presence of honoring the feminine aspects of yourself, of receiving your brilliance, of reveling in it and breathing it, and even allowing the room for other people to express their brilliance. And you can do that because you've become more conscious of your own patterns, of your own habits, of what you focus on, what you're determined to bring forward in this world. Breathe into the back body. Exhale out completely, ground into the earth. You're going to find length and walk your hands out. Elbows lift, so connect through those lines, the inseams of your arms, straight into your heart, into your roots. Inhale, rise up. Come up onto your hands and knees. Tucked toe, child's pose. Let's even go like wild child. Take your knees as wide as you can. Tuck the toes, draw back. And you're just going to move from side to side. Right? Just a little sway, not too driven, but true. And in that truth, you're going to come up onto your hands and knees, move all the way back. Adho Mukha Svanasana or Moksha. Come back to that freedom, because that's what we're all here for. We think we want to be free of this life, but we want to breathe into the freedom of integrating our whole self, our private life and our public life, our personal and our profession, where we've been and where we're going. This is the journey. If you didn't know, I have 8 total breaths here, so 4 more. You're going to bend your knees, roll your feet over to the right, shoulders to the back, stretch the left arm by your ear. You maybe can't pick the left hand up, it's all good. Deep inhale and a deep exhale. Hand comes to the earth. Inhale, rise up. We're only doing 4 breaths. I mean, we're not going to do this 8 times. Right? This is a little too earthy. But in that earthiness, in that solidity of the pose, of the physicality of the pose right now, you can reveal what is needing more of your love, your attention, that needs you to care for it in a sacred and loving way. Both hands to the earth, back into your dog pose, and then we're going to walk the feet forward. Let the earth rise up to meet you. Bend the knees, relax the neck and jaw 8 times. You're going to roll the spine up. Just feeling the connection. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, straight back down. Right? I think you can understand we're grounding into the earth. Inhale, rising up. Bring that light and that illumination, offering it up. And then bringing that guidance all the way down to our roots to feel the support and the foundation of our lives. Feeling here in that journey, in that cycle, that you can stand fully in your light and surrender and release. Forgive what needs to be forgiven, or just take note. Inhale, coming up with a greater sense of compassion from that greater connection to your own brilliance. And as you bow again, feel the waning energy that's passing. What has come to light so far in this journey, in this practice? And how can those sort of lessons of growth be of service? And as we find that energy of service and serving that which is of our true, brilliant, sacred nature, how can we make peace? How can we allow for the great Shantaya, not just of ourselves, but of our past, of where we're going, of the attachment to what we think it is to be. Exhale all the way down to the earth. Once you come to the earth, bow. Bow into the depths of your forward bend, whatever your Upavishta Konasana looks like. Sorry, it's not Upavishta Konasana, but we'll do Upavishta Konasana. Of what your standing forward bend is. Find the expression that's yours. Be inspired by the outer world, but persevere inward. 8 breaths. You're going to exhale, bend your knees. We're coming all the way down to the earth. Hips come to the ground. Hands come around the eye of the knees. Walk, right? So you're holding onto your legs. You're going to lean back, come up onto the balls of the feet, wrap your arms around, hold that container for you, right? So the symbol for the zodiacal sign of Cancer, which is where the sun resides at this moment, every year at this time, for billions of years. It's amazing. It's a crab. What do crabs do? They carry their home with them. So that is the invitation to realize our body is our home. We can retreat into it. And honestly, sometimes having clear boundaries, right? Goals, visions, ambitions, priorities, those are what our values are, our boundaries. So we hold those boundaries as we feel into the depths of our being. And that makes us a little moody or moony. So knowing how there's nothing wrong with you, but you can't expect everybody just to stop everything and take care of you. That's the hard part, right? So feet have come up. If you want, close your eyes. Go in and just breathe. Breathe into that back body. You got to keep the core hugging in. And wildly, that area of the body that Cancer rules is the womb and the breasts, right? That home in which we come into this world from. And, don't get all caught up in the storyline of were you breastfed or not, but that which nourishes us, right? That which was created to feed us. And it doesn't always work out that way. As you exhale, bring the feet back down so that we can find the strength and the perseverance to climb back out and rise up. So we're going to come lying all the way down, right? Oh shoot, I forgot to do the third round, whatever. I'll trust that I didn't forget it all, okay? Come lying all the way down, knees, your feet are off the ground, okay? I want you to draw into that belly. And my hands are overhead because that's the wisdom that's coming through to me right now to open more of the front line, which 2 full-term babies, 2 cesareans, and a total of 4 years of breastfeeding. My back line, there's a place that needs physicality, presence, focus, and integration and a reconnection. So this is just really simple. Your knees are in, your feet are off the floor, your shoulder blades are drawing in. You're moving the rib cage down towards the ground, right? So there's like a concaving into the heart. And it's so subtle, but I can feel it fiercely right now. And you're not trying to pick your hips up, okay? You're actually drawing so much. The ribs in, the hip points in, the pubic bone in. Your tail's still heavy though, right? The part is heavy, it's grounded. The shoulders are heavy, the head is heavy, and you're just holding space. You're persevering into the depths, into the viscera. There's a great massage of the organs. Your thigh bones are heavy. 8 breaths here. You can't breathe super deep, so realize that. And after those 8 breaths, you're going to bring your arms in. Knees are going to go wide. You can go into happy baby or just recline bound angle pose, holding onto your ankles. Let the knees fall. Let the shoulders readjust. Feel the connection to your inner thighs, the soles of your feet, through your pelvic floor, through both sides Just think of the energy along either side of the spine. The right channel, the left channel. All right, we have this dance of energy. You see it in the double helix of the staff and the sonates of the medical Western medicine. It's also the chakra system, the Sushumna Nadi and the Ida and Pingala Nadis, the main channels, energetic channels of the body. You're going to bend your right knee, knees towards the armpit, hold on to the pinky toe side of the right foot. So it's a half happy baby. This could be enough, but I want you to feel this hugging in of the rib points and the head points, the pubic bone, the sternum, this diamond energy, right? That is also keeping the tail heavy. Feel free to stay here or extend the right leg long. Mine says pause here. My ego knows through all the years of yoga that I could extend my foot, but I would actually break the connection to my inner self, and it would be more of the energy of performing for you. But this lunar cycle right now, I mean, it started in December of 2019, okay, is this invitation to break the patterns of the way we've engaged with the world thus far. I know, it's kind of intense. And after those 8 breaths, you're going to bend your right knee, hold on to your ankles, let the knees fall open, and breathe into the clarity, right? Everything's so kind of blurry and fluid right now and challenging and complex. It's because the universe is highly complicated, and you are a part of that. But the center of this complex universe in which we're a part of is the sun, which is this brilliant unconditional love, so second side. And you are a mirror of that same energy, every single one of us. So you're going to bend your left knee, half happy baby, check in. Think of the sign, the center of you, the tail, the spine, the heart, the neck, the back of the head, and then extend, maybe. And breathe. In December of 2019, I had this grand epiphany, and that shifted my sort of baseline of all I do for us to be able to live brilliantly together. But I was incredibly conflicted because this method I was coming forward and ready to share and having great momentum into its brilliance. Never manifested in the way I thought it was supposed to. But it's come together brilliantly. Exhale, come back to the center. So we get to release the attachment to the physicality and come back to our truth. Bend the knee, breathe. Notice how wild those inseams are, how much you've cleared them just by being steady and slowing down, not so much performing, but rather holding space, holding shape, creating the form to focus on the wisdom that's being revealed. We're not trying to be logical right now. Knees come back into the chest, feet come to the earth. Walk your feet wide as you need to, and you're just going to roll. So we're just in a big external rotation for the inner thighs. Now we're going to internally rotate. You're going to just keep your right knee bent. The left knee is rolling towards the right foot. We're not pushing it down. Gravity's here for us. We're actually feeling the heaviness of the bone, drawing the left inner thigh into the pelvis, keeping the tail heavy but drawing the belly in, keeping the rib cage centered, and then you're going to stretch your right arm by your ear. You're going to make a thumbs down, which is really a thumbs up to your core, and breathing. We associate down as bad, right? We associate low vibration, thumbs down, low score. We've been taught that that is not high performance, right? But actually we have to go slow and low to bring that brilliance forward. We have to have the ability to ground, to root, so we can rise. And if you're still with me, bravo to you. This is a really hard practice, a slow steady to do alone, right? Virtually. So receive the energetic transmission. We're so used to being in community and connected with one another. I've gotten more texts this week. When are you going to teach publicly again? And I know it's my answer is not being received very well because I don't hear back from them. Inhale, bring your left hand back down. Inhale your left knee up. Pause. Feel the expansion that you just created inside for you. And when you've created that expansion, you're healing so much. We have to let the mind, give the mind room to not analyze, but just rather feel. Be present, be focused, be determined in your ability to allow. How about that for paradox? And then we'll go to the other side. Right knee's gonna roll in. This is a very saturating practice for the parts of us that feel incredibly restricted. So right knee rolls down, the inner thigh. So we're not just plopped out. Okay, we're not overly expansive. Too much of anything, too much of a good thing, too much of a bad thing is too much. So you're going to anchor the inseam of your right foot to the ground. Draw that energy, just following the line of the leg, into the pelvis, up through the right sideline. Ribs are drawing down. Right arm stretches back. Your thumb's grounding in. Just enough so you feel the container engaged. And 8 breaths. Feel again these parts and pieces connecting, holding the energy in to expand the brilliance that's buried deep in the cracks and crevices of your whole being. Remembered I have a candle burning somewhere else in the house. It should be safe, but that's it, right? Those are little intuitive hits of, oh yeah, I'm not going to rush off in a frantic manner. I know what the situation is and it's fine. Draw into the belly, inhale the knee back through the center, and here we are. You're going to draw both knees in, give yourself a hug, okay? It was a subtle but deep twist. As you hug, we're gonna roll over to one side and come up. I had to really watch my knee to rock up. So as you come up, it's a little oh. So ground. When you get that dizzy feeling, that the thing isn't to shrink, but to anchor and expand vertically and horizontally. So Baddha Konasana, not my most nourishing preference personally, but perhaps it feels just right to you. And that's it. We all have a different energetic signature, or as somebody was sharing, energetic architecture. I like signature better personally, but we all have a different architecture. We all relate to the archetypes and the patternings differently. We all embody the divine expression in our own way. That's what we're doing, is going inward to be authentic. I am not going to betray my truth just to perform. 8 breaths, or just finish up those cycles of 8. And then we're going to open our legs out wide, right? I listened to the little misidentified poses that I spoke out loud, and I'm going to own it and use that as a guidance. So like actually the mistake that you could project on to the failure of your performance is actually a wisdom that's helping you really stay on track. That's the Ganesha, right? That's that energy that is either the obstacle or the protection. So here we are, Upavishtakonasana. Oh yeah. So inseams of the legs are going down. Outseams of the legs are going down too. Otherwise, we would just whirlwind inward and maybe never even come back outward, which is what happens when we become depressed. And again, depression is a heaviness that it really can be dark. And if you're there at all, seek help. It isolates you at a level that can make you feel like there's no bottom. Right? Or ask anybody that's been in any kind of recovery. They've hit bottom and then they come back up. It's a dark night of the soul. But we ask for help. That's the energy of rising. That's the energy of being able to mother ourselves. And a mother ain't supposed to do it all by herself. Okay? No, there's a community around her. So you got to anchor the outer hips, the outer edges as well. Feel the connection here. So on the ground, we drew this energy in. Feel the lift and bow. I just hit a major roadblock. My mind, my connection to my past of this pose would tell me that I can go further. Not today, friends, not today. So we're gonna breathe in and be with the loving, the nourishing, the revelatory power of our own inner guidance. With those 8 breaths, you're breathing deep into the back body. And so just to be a little transparent, as I'm breathing here and I pause, I am allowing my body, I've been so blessed with this amazing osteopath who does non-aggressive manipulation, who I have an appointment with, who is responsible for my ability to no longer see stars, that is moving in and out of consciousness, and great places of pain. And my body still remembers his work. I haven't seen him since before my daughter was born. I need to think about that for a second. So anyhow, being in that journey. And as I remember his wisdom, right? And Osteopaths aren't fully recognized by our insurance companies. So it is a straight out-of-pocket investment. However, my body remembers it and it cleared and realigned. And it's also giving me information to help him get to where I need him to be faster. Just FYI. So now in that honoring, I can go deeper. So breathe where you are. If you need to pull out of it and go back to a different forward bend, listen to that. We must listen to our innermost self, the whispers of our soul. And the only way you can do that is by holding space, of being present. 8 breaths. Exhale out completely. You're going to inhale, rise up wherever you are. Bring your legs together to a cross-legged pose. Breathe into the victory. This is like the most comfort I have had in so long, but it's also starting to say don't get too comfortable. And I just want us to feel a loop of 8 breaths here, okay? Of really, you can feel the currents up through the sides, down through the sides. You can feel it up the front body, down the back body. Maybe you feel it up the back body, down the front body. I want you to feel in and allow the wisdom to come through. So these are just suggestions. As always, in this relationship, you're responsible. The choices you make now are actually structuring your future. So we want to be responsive and feel the responsibility for the revelations, for the reactions, yet nurture ourselves and be aware of the patterns of our fortuitous nature. And that's going to be informed by where we've been too. So just all those things. 8 breaths. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to the earth. Bring both hands to the heart. Bring both hands to your womb, to your belly. We all hold an inner chamber. We all hold a womb, and it is the womb of our creative essence. It's the intimacy, the ability to go inward and see the potentiality, your ability to rise back up, your resilient nature. To giggle at the desire for a more, how about I just say, a perimenopausal body. We can all connect to that because men, you go through menopause too. Just saying. Why do you think you see men cry more as they're older than when they're younger? They lose the testosterone and slowly come lying all the way down. I will be, you can come into reclined Baddha Konasana. You can come into feet wide, knees together, which is the one that my being is calling for, and I'm enhancing it with a block. You can also come into Shavasana, right? Just legs stretched out. Soften the outer edges and awaken to that diamond, right? You can listen to the Rihanna song Shine Like a Diamond later today if you want. But feel the inner brightness, the boldness, the crystallization of your own brilliance, which is why we do these practices. Not to stroke our ego, but rather to serve our soul. Our ego keeps us from staying here too long and detaching or renouncing the physical world. The world that allows our soul to come alive. And just as you are, when we reveal our brilliance or ground our soul's true nature, we bring forward a structure that houses a brilliance that the world will see, that will help you rise back up. That this practice is now part of your legacy. Deep inhale in and a deep exhale out. And through the depth of the breath, you're going to stretch your legs out long or not. Reach your arms back behind your head. I'm going to go into a 5-pointed star because that's what makes sense to me right now. And then you're going to roll over to one side. And find your seat. And as you sit in that seat, sit well. Breathe into the well-being of your true self. And may the light and the love that surrounds you, that you can now see sits within you, guide your way on. Namastasye, 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 namo namaha. And so it is, and may it be so. unto you. Straight from my heart to yours, straight from my soul to yours. I will see you virtually. You will see me, actually. I don't see you. I'd love to see you. But I will see you. I will see you in my heart. All of those of you that I know, if your name pops up, a like or a comment or an acceptance of an invitation or the suggestion of that you've invited others to this space, I see you. I see your energy, I see your light, and I see you through the lens of gratitude and appreciation. And may you feel the benevolence of your own life and breathe into the fortune of being alive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you next time. Or no, I won't see you. I will be here with you next time. I am going to be teaching through the rest of June. Okay, and don't freak out. I will be taking the first week of July off. Just makes sense. And if I change my mind, I change my mind. But I will be here next week. So thank you. Ciao.